No. I was just I was laughing. We were saying about the pill. I was honest one time in treatment.
Right.
I decided to be honest once. This was when I was still drinking, right? So I told the truth. It's like, why bother telling the truth when you go in there? It's like you don't want them putting you away or something.
You're afraid to tell the truth at first.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
I did this time. And the lady that I went in saw, she goes, God, I was going to give you something, but it sounds like you might have a problem with pills. I go, yeah, I'm probably not going to see you again. No, I never went back. Yeah, there's no sense to go back then after that.
She wanted to give you a pill, and after that, she wasn't interested.
Yeah.
And you knew.
Well,
that?
I knew I wasn't going to get the pill, so why go back?
Well, that's what you wanted.
That was my thought. Yeah. Well, it wasn't what I thought, but I knew, hey, okay, I blew it. So.
The thing is that I find that medications are great in giving patients or clients a window of opportunity.
Oh, early
and erectile dysfunction. They're also I'm real happy.
That's why he wants to see you, Doc. That's why Mack wants to see you.
Help me! I have ED. I'm taking too much medicine. I'm really happy, but I can't.
Well, that's one of the problems with these drugs. Yeah.
Well, I normally tell people if they're not hearing voices from dogs and they're not eating their own excrement, they're probably pretty solid to just stick on the program for a little bit.
Well, that's what I was sharing a few weeks ago. My therapist in New York didn't treat people usually until they had a few years sober. Until if they were in one of the 12-step programs, she would say, "Get sober, and if it's not working, then come to me."
I'm actually a big believer in medication. I think that medication is a really important part, and I think that a lot of people, especially in AA, that are not qualified to make a decision about medication one way or the other, are making decisions for who they're sponsoring, and they shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
Well, that's
it has a place, and it can be a powerful tool.
I was lucky I had my mom.
What did she do?
Seriously. I was so out of it when I first got clean that if I didn't have a place to live where there was basically I couldn't work. I could not show up at work. I started having really bad panic disorder attack, got agoraphobia. When I was, could not leave the house.
So you had bad anxiety.
Yeah, unbelievable. Where it was like, if I couldn't even imagine. The only reason I did it without medication is because I didn't have to show up. I didn't have to go to work. I didn't have to pay my own bills. I had mom helping me. If not, there's no way. There was no way I could have made it without having that help. And it was years of that.
See, but the thing is, I think the important message is that you don't have to suffer like that, though.
Right.
So you could have benefited from some medicine.
Yeah, I'm saying, I probably could have. If I didn't have my mom,
I totally
free.
agree. I was so bad. I couldn't have dealt with society when I first got sober without living in my. I barely still can.
Still can't.
But without living in my parents' house. My first bunch of time sober this time was staying at my parents' house. I knew I had a safe place. My father had gotten me that Sony PlayStation, so I wouldn't be roaming the whole,
That's why you have glasses now.
That is why I have glasses and carpal tunnel syndrome.
Right.
Hey, I watch Robin Hood with Olivia de Havilland and Errol Flynn every day, all day long.
Wow.
I'd wake up when I was sober because it's all I could handle.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle any heavy, nothing heavy.
Yeah.
It was just nice. They were nice. Everybody's nice. The good guy wins. I would just replay that thing. I must have watched it thousands. I know every line in that movie.
Mack, you talked about first being exposed to all this at 12. That's pretty young.
Yeah, that was pretty boring.
Yeah,
pretty lame going to meetings at 12.
Did you have
rough?
Were you just rebellious against it? I
hadn't even done drugs, man. I was rebellious against everything. Anything that went against what I wanted, I was going to rebel against it. I went there. I could smoke cigarettes there. Being 12, that was a really dumb decision. But I love cigarettes. So I would go there and just listen to these people talk about shooting heroin and smoking crack, and I was just I think you people are really off your rocker. Why would you ever do that to yourself? And then later on down the line, of course, I partook in it.
You were being induced.
Yeah, I blame the 12 steps on me doing drugs.
That's always a question I've had. Actually, is I've never I don't want to give my opinion on it because I haven't been in that situation, but people that do bring kids to meetings, I can't imagine sometimes that always being the most helpful.
Well, Amy makes a joke about it that, my wife who, she said that she didn't really become a real drug addict until after she'd been in a treatment center.
Well, that's what they said with my kid.
Yeah.
Well,
That happens.
whoever it was, when I was
drugs in those treatment centers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had actually the whatever they're called, the leader of the center, whatever that is, the director of the center,
Executive director.
When I was dealing with my daughter, they said, "Hey, use this as a last resort because she'll learn stuff in here that she couldn't have learned on the street."
Yeah, I mean, I learned stuff, and I've never abused drugs, but I could tell you where to score them. I mean, that's probably from listening to a Warren Zevon song too. But I have learned so much more than I ever did.
Yeah, and at KLEAN, with the center we run, I mean, the clients that we have are generally have what we call dual diagnosis. So we try to work with people that have psychiatric disorders as well as problems with alcohol and drugs. So, people that are coming to our place, that, they have very identified problems, and then we create very individualized care for them. And the goal is to get them past that crisis stage and properly medicated in a position where they can then go back out in the community and be supported. So
I also think, though, like bringing your kid to a 12-step program is like, I grew up Southern Baptist. I had to go to church all the time, and that had sort of a backlash where I became extremely like anti-religious and, not being able to separate organized religion from the idea of God or a higher power.
Or morality.
Yeah, or any of that, it was all like sort of part of this like one thing that I just rejected. And I think that, the same could be said for kids that are forced to go into AA meetings or you have to go to it. I mean, you could find it completely obnoxious. And I mean, you can poke holes in the 12-step program. It's not difficult to do,
Right.
Like I said, it's not a panacea. Some people think it's like inspired by divine right. I've never seen a burning bush. It's not hard to critique it. It may work for people, but then again, so does Christianity. Christianity keeps a lot of people from raping and killing.
It also creates a lot of raping and killing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's done a lot of that stuff.
I think anything can be used
If we
for
could just
anything,
colonize people and indoctrinate them with the 12 steps, or is there anywhere else left to colonize?
It's funny because of all the guests we've had, and we've had quite a few already, the one guy who sort of claimed he had that mystical sort of experience, bright light.
Wasn't in AA.
It wasn't in AA. Grew up Christian though, and then he said that one day he just had this like bright light and felt the presence of God, and then he got sober. Only person I've ever heard say that, of all the people we've had in. Everybody else, it's this long struggle of coming to terms with, that they've been using. It's really been affecting their lives, and then they fought through it and had to challenge themselves to feel healthy again.
I think for the most part, it has to be a struggle.
Well, I think Dr. Ko said it the best, right? Life is a struggle.
Right.
Life is hard.
And life's confusing.
And it's even harder if you're using drugs or alcohol.
Well, in the beginning, not. In the beginning, it's a lot easier.
So it seems.
So it seems because you're so out of it, right? You're so.
Look what's happening. Your development stopped.
Right.
You've just gotten off the track of life, but and then when you wake up, you've lost time and you've done a lot of damage. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take one last break. It's KLEAN Radio. You can probably get one more call, and if you'd like, it's 877. I'm going to miss this dance if we change the music, you have to go see us on YouTube under KLEAN Radio and watch Judah do the intro dance, his head bob.
My head bob.
You got those hands awfully high, I gotta say.
I got those hands awfully high.
When you're doing your little dance.
Oh, yeah. I'm a better dancer than I am a pitcher.
That's been proven tonight.
Actually, that's not true. So that shows you just how bad of a dancer I am.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's been a really great show. We got about 5 minutes left in the show, and I just really want to thank both of our guests for coming in.
Yes.
Along with Dr. Ko, of course, who's sort of our affiliate co-host.
Right.
But that's why we call him Ko, right? Oh, God, that's bad,
that was
right?
really bad.
I should never be a stand-up comic, right? That just proved it right there.
That was...
Yeah.
that was just...
Well, the material was bad, but the timing was good.
Yeah, impeccable.
So, Jack, you got the book out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, American Demon. Yeah, the street date's not till May 1st.
Okay.
But Amazon's like been shipping them out.
Right.
So people are mad at me because I didn't ship like signed copies out. And they're like, "What are you talking about? This guy's got copies. Where's mine?" You know.
And you said though that you have your own website.
Yeah, jackgrisham.com.
And that's probably the best place to get it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you want to get it from me, it's at Amazon.
You make a little more.
Well, it's signed. Yeah, it's signed. I mean,
Signed.
it's different. Yeah, it's funny. That's
cool.
My goal is to be my main distributor.
Can
That's
people
my goal.
personalize it? Like, can they ask
Yeah,
you? Like,
yeah, they just write and say, "Hey, send
an
this."
email to
Well, it
them?
was great. We sold a lot of books. It was crazy, like way more than I figured. Like it just kept going and going, and then people read it.
Right.
And then I get 5 of their friends call me saying, "Hey, so and so read it. They've been reading me stuff. Can I get one?"
Which is
You know?
so much better than
Yeah.
music, because music, somebody says, "Hey, my friend loved it. I just burned them a CD." At least with a book,
just emailed them
you're not
the
going to
files.
photocopy 364
It's going
pages.
close though, man. I mean, they're going electronic files. They just send them. It's getting close. So,
Yeah.
and then we're having a big party. If anybody wants to come,
That'd
which
be
is it's like basically, I don't know, disaster waiting for a place to happen. We got a boat. We got a paddle wheel boat.
Yep.
And the Long Beach Harbor on May 1st.
I'm
And
going to
it-
be there.
Yeah, well, they say it holds 750 people, but if it does 300, I'll be shocked. And
Wow.
We've already had 1,000 people RSVP saying they're coming.
Maybe with my colder to carry, it's not such a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Well, because it's a free party. It's like TSOL's going to play, and
Wow.
this band, The Crowd, they hate it. And the Yeasty Boys are a band of clowns, and it's a free party on a paddle wheel boat, middle of the day on a Sunday for free in downtown Long Beach. It's going to be.
Is it on your website?
It's on the website.
So
yeah,
people can definitely check that
That's
out.
really cool.
Well, the cool thing is the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books is that weekend, but
Wow.
they're having a whole different kind of parties. They're
Right.
having like a couple little wine and snacking on a cracker. This isn't punk rock and booze on a boat. I mean,
Right.
just because I'm sober, I don't expect you to be. You know what I'm saying? So
And Mac, you've got the show, Comedy Store.
It's, Mack Lindsay's Darkest Hour. It's April 23rd in the Belly Room. It's a Saturday, 10:30 to midnight. I'm also doing Anger Angst Apathy Tour with Rick Shapiro, Jason LaCour, and Bronson Jones. And that's, we're just touring around the country. And you can basically find all the information about me and, what I'm doing with other comics at macklindsay.wordpress.com or Mack Lindsay stand-up comedian fan page on Facebook.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you for having me here. It was a lot
Hey,
of fun.
thank you both for coming in. It's been great.
You're welcome.
And,
Yeah.
it was actually a great mix of guests. I think it's been interesting. And
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect symmetry. And with Dr. Ko, of
Well,
course.
Well, I think our guests have been brutally honest and instructive and really helpful. Your stories are meaningful.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I feel
deeply touched.
Well,
I feel empowered. Thank you, Doctor.
well, no, it was true.
I go out and rob the Denny's now.
That'd be great.
You don't have to. It's $4 all you can eat pancakes. It's cheaper just to buy them.
Right, if you like run out on your bill, you like certain ways. If you know you have a problem, if you run out on your bill at Denny's, you might have a problem.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I tell my older daughter, I say, take your sister out to the car.
The dine and dash at
Hey,
Denny's.
you can buy a lot of light bulbs with $4.50.
God,
Too funny.
you guys.
Too funny.
All right.
All right.
Lot of
Well,
fun.
But any reunion tours?
No, I still play with the same guys. It's hard. We've done more
Oh,
reunions
so you guys
than
are still-
share. I still play with TSOL, the same guys. I mean, same.
Any
we've been
upcoming
playing
dates?
30-something. Well, the boat party on May 1st.
Okay.
No, we're actually
come
doing
sync with TSOL.
Yeah, we're playing the punk rock picnic. They have the punk rock picnic April 9th. It's like a big picnic for punk rock.
Where is that?
Irvine Lake. So that should be fun, too.
That'd be great.
Andrew and I might go.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Okay, so I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
Dr. Ko will too.
Sure.
He's going to bring out his old punk days of where he was Dr. Coco.
Good place to pick up future clients.
Yeah, great place.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. It's been
Thank
a great
you.
night on KLEAN Radio. Join us next week. You can also check us out on YouTube under KLEAN Radio. It's KLEAN with a K. And also join us at Twitter at KLEAN Radio.
With a K.
Yep. Have a good night.
Have a great week.